procedure is a set of instructions that you ask a program to execute, a self-contained program within a program, if you like. Unlike variables, procedures are given a name that is used to call a procedure. When a procedure is called, execution of the program jumps to the procedure from the calling point, and when the procedure completes its execution, control is returned to the point at which the initial call was made. Procedures can be called any number of times in a program, and procedures can be called from other procedures. So here's an example of some code. This is just pseudocode, it isn't necessarily syntactically correct. We've got a variable being initialized, and we have a loop that's going round from 0 to 10, and each time in the loop we're calling a procedure called calculate square. We're giving it a value, and that will obviously change each time that the procedure is called. So here is the procedure, how it might look. So we've got a sub-procedure called calculate square, so the names have to match exactly, and then we have a list of parameters. In this case we have one parameter, which is just a variable x, and this procedure prints out square of x equals, it then calculates what the square of x is by multiplying it by itself and storing it in the same variable, because this variable x is local to this procedure only. It doesn't affect the variable x in this procedure here. We can then output the value of x. So for 1 we get square of x equals 1. For 2 we get square of 2 equals 2. For 3 we get square of x equals 3. And in terms of execution, the way it works is the call effectively jumps execution to the sub-procedure. It's executed all the way through, and then it jumps back. Our loop would then iterate, and then we'd jump off again and come back. Our loop would iterate, we'd jump off and come back, and we can do that any number of times that we want. So this allows a high degree of program structure to be constructed using procedures. Procedures can even call themselves, creating something called a recursive call, although care has to be taken with this to ensure that there is a way out of the recursive cycle. There are two kinds of procedure in most programming languages: sub-procedures and functions. In this session we'll deal with sub-procedures, and the next session we'll have a look at functions. In practice they are largely identical in nature, but functions do give back a value when the execution is completed, as well as returning to the point from which they were called, and this is a subtle but important difference.